don't think, I'm not sure Georgia State had touched it before we take the lead. And then obviously incredibly disappointing and frustrating that we still haven't got that monkey off our back in terms of just giving up some easy ones and giving some freebies away. And it's kind of haunted us all season. But I said to them at half time, okay, that was our adversity again. You've got to manage those moments. We've got to deal with it. You can't spend any time feeling sorry for yourself. Clearly, we were going to be the team, if we continue to execute, that have more of the ball. Clearly, we look the more likely in open play, certainly, to create more chances and have opportunities in front of goal. So you have to keep the faith, and you have to be really determined that that's the outcome, and not get frustrated and not get disappointed and not keep thinking back to the way we conceded the goal and the nature of that. So the message at half time was we saw enough to know that we felt as though we would be the better footballing team with respect to Georgia State, because they are a difficult team to play. And it just came down to mentality. It came down to the choice at that point. And do we want to continue to feel like we're still capable of not winning games we should, or do we want to actually get over the line? And ultimately, that's what we did. We still made it difficult, but ultimately won the game today, and that was the result that we deserved over the course of 90 minutes, in my opinion.
I believe all 3 goals were scored in the first 7 minutes or so of each half. Is that something you saw out of Georgia State, that they were vulnerable early in the half?
No. Obviously, a good response to start the second half. So, there wasn't anything in particular as far as the timing of things. I think we obviously had a plan tactically and felt like that was going to allow us to control the game, and it was so important with the way that they play that we won that chess match. And what I mean by that is they're very comfortable letting us have the ball, and we're very comfortable with the ball. So whichever team makes the mistake is the one that's going to be vulnerable and susceptible. And you can have 70% of the ball, 60% of the ball, whatever it may be, and they can still win the game. They don't need much to be ruthless and be clinical. So that was the part we had to manage, where the game was played, the transitions and the proximity from our goal in relation to how close they were to theirs, and that was a lot of what we worked on over the last few days.
Coach, special group of seniors there being honored there before the match. What have they meant to the rest of the group of players on the field and off the field for some of the other guys?
Yeah, it was sad. It was sad to obviously to go through the recognition before the game and see some of them tear up and it's going to sound really selfish, but it just brings me back to like when that day happened for me, and it makes you reflect. And we tried to use it. We tried to use it as fuel to make sure that they left on their terms and to win the game today. And not only that, but the others that were around it, they saw that emotion. They saw what it means. They saw, when that reality hits home and you don't get to do this anymore. It's really, really sad. And I wanted other players to see that and see what it means to those guys. And I want now those seniors to really take this group by the scruff of the neck and go, okay, like I'm not done. And we're not. We're undefeated in 6 now. We've won 3 of those, tied 3 of those. So we need to gain a fraction more momentum. It's been such fine margins that's cost us this year, and it can be such fine margins that we need to improve and be a little bit more clinical, that can get us to where we want to be at the end of all this. And that's obviously with a conference tournament championship in our back pocket and a berth into the NCAA tournament. So that's what we have our eyes firmly set on right now, and not any thoughts of this is almost over. This is only just beginning as far as where we are in terms of national recognition for this season.
Hey Dan, Luke told me a moment ago that he considers those guys family. Is that what you envisioned when you became the coach of this program?
Yeah, it is, because it's what I had. And again, not to sound selfish, but there's aspects of what the culture was when I was here as a player that was so precious almost. We have to find ways to create that. Those are the parts that I knew worked. I knew what it felt like for me to represent this program, and they have to find that within the group themselves. We often talk about the accountability piece, how they police themselves, they police this group, what they want from this experience and what they want to put into it will be exactly what they get out of it. Maybe we don't quite feel like that's been the case, certainly early on in the season and through the month of September necessarily. But at no point has anyone quit. There's no point has anyone given up. There's no point has anyone looked beyond what happens this season. So again, we do have some momentum, some things that we can take confidence from, including a win against a tough team that's just tied Marshall. that is higher than we are in the RPI, that I think has at least 9, maybe 10 wins on the season. So there's some things, encouragement that we can take, and we're going to have to face another team like this, or this team again potentially in the conference tournament. So again, you can take that scalp in the regular season and take some confidence from it.
Dan, 6 matches unbeaten since you guys have made the formation change from a back 3 to a back 4. How confident were you that that was going to work? Like, did you consider it a gamble in any way?
No, because we had to be honest enough to say that if we'd have continued to do what we were doing and there was no change of outcome, then it would have been negligent on our part as a staff. And we just felt like we had come to a point where we needed to freshen things up. We needed to make some changes. The irony of that specific today is we spent more time in a 3 today because of the way that they play. So I've always wanted to have the capacity to be a team that can play within 2 different systems and 2 different styles, and we kind of merged the 2 today. Almost in our half in possession we played in a 3, in their half we played more like a 4-3-3, or we wanted to. And that was part of what we tried to refine at half time, exactly how we were able to do that. And I want to keep teams guessing. I want to go out there and for teams to not be quite sure what they've scouted and whatever it is, whatever their plan is that they prepare for, have to feel like they've got to rip it up after 20 minutes because we're doing something different. So I think we have intelligent enough players and now have enough time in this new system to be able to be a bit more versatile in that regard.
You mentioned the conference tournament coming up. How important was this outcome, both conference standings wise and also continuing to build momentum?
Yeah, we'll see. I was obviously asking what some of the other results were on the way over, but it's been so unpredictable. I'm guessing that Coastal drew, but it's been so unpredictable this season from that regards that I have no idea. I have no idea that what one more win can do for us and what other results might fall our way potentially. So. The difference, obviously, is that there's a bye week for us following Georgia Southern, where everyone else in the league plays. So all we can control was what we did today and what we do next Friday at Georgia Southern.